19 minutes past 8 now. A little bit of traffic before we get to our Northcote by-election contenders. And this is traffic news in the electorate, actually, so maybe we can get into this. But there's a breakdown on the northern motorway heading north. Just clear the lanes after the Northcote Road overbridge, so expect some delays in that area. Well, there's been no delay in the campaigning for the Northcote by-election down to the last few days now. So joining me are Dan Bidois, who's the National Party candidate, and Labour's Shanan Halbert. Tēnā kōrua.
Ata Māori.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you to both of you for coming in. Dan, if I could start with you. Are you the front runner?
Oh, we're not taking anything for granted, Guyon. We're just getting out there, and I am so enthused and energised by this campaign. I actually don't want it to stop because it's so much fun going out there and meeting people, and we're just having a lot of fun doing it. My team is out at the bottom of Oniwa Road waving signs as we speak, and it's just such a fantastic response. So we're looking forward to it.
There might be plenty of time for them to see those placards with the traffic there, and we'll get to some of those transport
absolutely.
issues. But Shanan, are you the underdog?
Oh, I think I've moved on since we last met, and at that time I said I was the underdog. We've closed the gap. We've got hundreds of volunteers out on the ground. I'm really proud of the work that they've done. 16,000 conversations that we've had on doorsteps and over the phone with Northcote voters. That's an incredible effort. And what we're seeing is a really positive response. People want a local representative, and that's what I'm standing for.
So you say you've closed the gap, and there's been some commentary about polling here. What does your own polling show?
The last poll last week that we had me behind 2%.
2 percentage points.
2%, and that says we're neck and neck. People want a local representative. I'm standing to get things done.
Dan, you're nodding your head. What are your numbers showing?
Oh, we're well up. We're about 8% at the moment, and but the only poll that counts is the one on polling day. So we're making sure all of our voters and supporters, making sure that we get them out to vote because we don't want to lose a seat.
Okay, well, why would the people of Northcote want an opposition MP and not a government one?
Oh, this is not actually about an opposition or a government. It's about who is best placed to represent them. And I've got the experience, 10 years in the business sector, and to be a fighter for them. What I've heard from the doorsteps of Northcote voters is that they are looking for a champion, someone to be a fighter and make sure that they get their fair share of services.
Do you live in the electorate?
Yes, absolutely. I live on Oniwa Road at the top there, and I'm happy to call this my home. It is such an amazing place to live, Guyon. I don't know if you spent much time in the electorate. We have amazing beaches, the views. Every morning I wake up to a view of the city, and it's just beautiful. And Birkenhead, Beach Haven, Glenfield, they're just such fantastic communities, and I'm just so proud to call it my home.
Shanan, you got it was 6,000 votes last time, and it's still a big gap to close.
Oh, it is, but we're in a by-election situation. I did well in the last election. That gave me a different starting point, I guess. People are much more familiar with me. I'm genuinely from this community and deeply connected with our community.
Are you suggesting that he's not?
Well, everyone knows that Dan's only just joined us in the electorate, and the views are great, but the reality is, on the ground, I've done the mahi.
What is the story with, because I read that you lived in Epsom, is that not right?
I used to live in Epsom, but I've lived all over. I've lived in 5 different countries. And I moved there recently.
When did you move to the electorate?
Yeah, I moved just after the selection, but it's more about what I want to do.
So hang on, so just to get the sequence, and that's cool, but just to get the sequence right. So you were selected,
yes,
and then you moved to the electorate.
Absolutely, it was my commitment to the people that selected me to say I would move in and become part of this community.
Okay, let's talk about some of the big issues there.
Yes.
And transport is a big one. What can you do, Shanan? What can you offer? Because there's a lot of traffic congestion out that way. And when I look at the numbers from the electorate profile that the Parliamentary Library does on the seat, they went and did their survey, did their numbers on a day, a snapshot. 66% of people said they either drove or were passengers in a private vehicle. So that's 2/3, driving to work. That's your problem right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a challenge that we've faced in Northcote for 40 years. Anyone who has lived in the electorate like me for a long period of time that knows that that's the reality. The challenge for us moving forward and what we're getting on with is investing in affordable transport options across the North Shore and being part of the the solution to reduce congestion
What's the
across
big thing?
Auckland.
What's
We're
the-
taking action.
Yeah, what's the big thing that people would notice under the Labour-led government's policy in Northcote for transport?
Well, under the Clark government, and what was the last transport project in our area was the Northern Expressway. We're going to extend that under the ATAP transport plan, $28 billion investment across Auckland, as well as the Skypass C-Pass, so that people can walk and cycle safely across the bridge, an upgrade of the downtown ferry terminal, and an extension out west, and long-term that will bring light rail over to the shore.
You know what the uses of the train is out there? What 0.1% of people said they took the train.
We don't
0.1.
currently have a train over on the
Well, that's
North
probably
Shore.
why 0.1% of people took it.
But the point, Guyon, is...
Dan, you're nodding your head here.
Yeah,
What can we
look,
do to
look,
get
let's-
more people into
let's
public
be-
transport?
Absolutely, and we want to encourage people to use public transport. But to do that, we've got to make it super convenient and low cost. And that's why I'm saying that we need more park and rides. We need to reduce the cost of taking ferries and buses where possible, but we need to make it as super easy and convenient.
How would you reduce the cost of taking the ferry or the bus? Are you talking about a policy for more subsidy in that area?
Ultimately, it comes down to the economics of it, right? So we have one ferry down in Beach Haven. I'd love to see more regular ferries in Beach Haven, which is an untapped potential
but
there.
what can you do about that? I mean, you're the party of private enterprise, aren't you? Surely that's
absolutely.
up to them.
But what the people of Northcote want is a leader to bring together the people and the stakeholders in the community to understand what we can actually do about reducing costs. And no MP
Feel free to
has...
write in. You
I've
don't need to
already
raise your hand. I always
demonstrated-
interrupt. There you go.
Yeah, I want to be a local MP that takes action, and in the 4 weeks of this campaign, I've demonstrated that I'm able to use my relationships both centrally in government and locally to get us together to put up a plan. When it comes to our local ferry, and when I talk about the Beach Haven ferry in particular, that's our most impoverished area within the electorate, and we need to do better for that ferry. I put together Twyford, Minister of Transport, as well as our local councillors and local board. What we've identified is that the current ferry cost doesn't sit within the PTOM funding structure that Auckland Transport currently use. And what we've done is we've progressed that. Council's going to make a proposal to Minister Twyford for that to be included. And that's a great gain. That's a win for Northcote that I've already been able to get in this campaign. That's what a local MP in government will achieve.
It's not just about ferries, Guyon. It's about buses. It's also about cars. As you said, 2/3 take
Our
cars.
buses.
So really, there's no one quick fix solution, and that's why I'm calling on a comprehensive plan for public transport and congestion, pulling together NZTA, the bus company, council, AT, local public companies as well, to make sure that we're getting the right type of priorities that is fit for the area of Northcote. Right now, we're not seeing that from the ATAP plan, which really leaves out the people.
I want to
of
get to
Northcote.
housing too. Have you got any final quick word on transport?
We need to celebrate our wins in our bus system and our electorate. We've got 70% of people, local commuters, going down the T3 lane at the moment. That's a big achievement via bus and carpooling.
Okay,
and
lots of
30% more
on Honeywell Road.
That's why you're putting on your
Jonathan
banners here,
Coleman
isn't it?
couldn't achieve an outcome as a senior minister. A backbench Dan Bidois will not achieve anything.
Well, I can't defend Jonathan. I'm just here focused on transport, and it's great that my opponent's talking about transport because he was on your show the other day saying he didn't want to talk about transport. So I'm really pleased that for once he's actually wanting to address the issue.
Let's get to housing because that's a big issue right throughout the country, and it's an issue in Northcote as well. I looked at the numbers here. It's in terms of the tenure of dwellings, 50% are owned. So there are a lot of people who are renters there. What could you do, if anything, for home ownership rates in this electorate?
Yeah, look, I empathise with all home owners, all home renters out there. I myself am not in the home ownership market, so I fully recognise that.
Why is that?
Just because I haven't been able to afford a deposit. I also have lived overseas for a few years, so my desire to own a home is not as great as a lot of Kiwis, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to own a house.
Is the home ownership dream in New Zealand still alive?
I think so. I think it is, but we
for
need
younger people, because if I look at the electorate, you have the median age in Northcote at 35.
That's my age. Yep.
You're both 35.
Our age.
He's 36, I believe.
Okay.
He's
You're
a
slightly
year older.
ahead. You're slightly ahead at this point.
You're
the tamer. Okay. So you got a young
Respect your
electorate.
elders, they say.
You got a young electorate slightly younger than the average there.
Yeah.
What chance of people your
the-
age buying
the
a home if
reality-
you can't even buy a home?
Absolutely. So the reality, Guyon, is we've got to build more homes, and I want to see more affordable homes, more social housing, more private dwellings, more apartments in the area. But it's not just about houses Guyon. It's also about the surrounding services in the area. Car parking. Where are people car parking? Where are people going to schools?
Let's just stick on the housing for a second.
Northcote-
He's
All of
promising
these kind of
100,000
issues.
affordable houses as part of this.
Northcote is the best place to live in Auckland. That's what I'm saying, and people genuinely want to live there. That's why I live there. The last housing product.
Do you own a house there?
Yes, I do. Through my KiwiSaver, I was able to afford to put a deposit on my house, and that's how I came.
What would a
to
three-bedroom place?
Northcote.
Yeah, a standard three-bedroom house in Northcote cost you?
It's coming up to about 800, 900 million.
No,
thousand,
yeah,
sorry,
we
at the
haven't
moment.
got that bad, is it?
Well, it's
bad,
well
but
done
it ain't
for being
that
in that housing market.
Go on, but you know, the Northcote housing development is a massive achievement. It's 1,200 more homes locally from the 300 state houses that were there. Dan's team, the National Party, held that development for 7 years. That was an initiative that was set up under the Clark government. Families are only just moving in now, and that's disappointing. And that's the type of leadership that I don't want to be putting up as a local MP. I want to be aspirational. I want to get things done. I want to put more affordable houses in place, and that's what I've talked to Minister Twyford about. We're going to extend the 1,200 up to 1,500 at the highest.
Oh, that's just flat out incorrect. My government definitely advanced that project. And it's we
held
went
it
down
for
there.
7 years.
We went down there with Paula Bennett the other day and saw some of these homes, and it's just great to see that. But we need more, and we need to make sure we've got the surrounding infrastructure so that these people can lead happier, healthier lives.
Okay, I want to talk about an area of the population there we don't hear a lot about, and maybe this is partly my fault, or the media's fault. 1 in 4 are of Asian descent in your electorate. It's 24%, according to these statistics. What can you promise in terms of representation for them? Are there special issues that they need addressing?
Yeah, look, and as somebody who's lived in Asia, I've lived in Kuala Lumpur, I've travelled around China, pretty much every Asian country I've been to. And so we're working really hard to understand and articulate the key issues of the Chinese,
What
Korean.
are they?
Public safety is probably issue number one for them. You know, being safe. A lot of them own small businesses, so they want to know that they can get on and get ahead without the threat of issues there. This number 2 is definitely around the economy. They're really worried about what this government's doing for them in terms of increasing minimum wages. That's going to increase costs. The employment legislation.
Are you concerned about the increase in the minimum wage?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's
really.
Well, but what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that the businesses that have been giving me feedback have been saying very loud and clear that is going to hurt them and their cost of doing business. And we want businesses to get ahead.
What about the people who are on the minimum wage? Are you saying to them, you're happy to say to them this morning that you're concerned about the fact that they're getting more money?
Your countdown workers.
Oh, no, absolutely. But it's not just minimum wage. It's a whole range of legislation that's designed to hurt small busises. And I'm saying
Dan,
that
you've got to support minimum wage for your countdown workers. They're the people that need the money on the table for food.
No, hang on. I'm not talking about that. We're
Either
talking
you
about
support it or
rising
you
it to
don't.
$20 an hour. We're talking about rising it to $20 an hour, and the feedback loud and clear is that that's going to hurt small business, particularly in the Asian community. And that's why I'm here articulating that that's a key issue for
we're just
them.
going to wrap it up, so we're going to move to a final segment, and I'll start with you, Dan. You're under a bit of pressure here. If you lose this, people have talked about real problems for the leadership. You got a lot of weight on your shoulders going into Saturday.
Oh, I'm just enthused. I'm not under pressure at all. We're running a very strong campaign. We've got high voter turnout at the moment, and we've got a lot of support. And we're just focused on making sure all of our supporters.
Are you going to win?
Oh, yeah, we're looking for a strong victory, but I'm not taking anything for granted, Guyon.
A final word to you, Shanan.
Guyon, I'm energised by this campaign, and I'm very focused to get action on affordable housing, on transport solutions and reducing congestion, and most of all, what I'm really passionate about for our community is resourcing our local schools, and I hope to be our local MP.
Do we get a handshake?
We get a very good handshake.
We've had good handshakes. It's been quite an amicable campaign, and we'll debate the issues.
Right,
and
good on you, and best of luck to both
here.
of you on the
Thank
day.
You, Guyon. Thank you very much for having us on.
Mihi atu kia koe.
Ngā mihi kia koe. to you also. Tēnā koroa to both of you. 26 minutes to 9.
Giles Beckford's here with the update on the markets.
Thank you, Susie. Good morning, all. American stocks have closed mixed. Renewed trade concerns involving Canada and Mexico just dampening a bit of activity.